So how is everybody doing today? I hope everybody's having a fabulous day. For those of you, just to get to this right off, I got to change something here. General, audio, avatars. Give me a second. For those of you that are wondering, the MFing COO Twitter got hacked. So it is, somebody has, like some NFT people have it right now. But I started a new one at the Alan Roberts. If I don't get the old one back, I'll just build this one back up. Frankly, I'm wondering if like building it up is a better thing because it's literally been like banned so many times that I'm worried that Twitter has like, a prejudice against it. Like it's deep locked in even with Musk, but it's at the Alan Roberts. Please do go follow. I'm actually going to put the link for it right in here for today. And I'm going to just be doing my fucking thing. So I'm going to put that in there. Give me 1 second. I need to do a few things here. I'm ill prepared today. Ill prepared. Give me 1 more second. Starting this up. I'm very excited about many, many, many things this week. I'm hoping that we have a really, really, really solid week. I'm going to get some training in today. There's that. And then here is give me 1 second. 1 more second, guys. Sorry about this. Yes, I'm a little ill prepared. Sorry about that. But we are going to go with accountability coaching and beyond willpower. So here is here are the links for today. You can get our book Beyond Willpower, but you can also follow me at the Alan Roberts on Twitter. And then there's our accountability coaching too. We have a few slots open. We talk to people. If you are having a hard time this holiday season, our coaching is very affordable. It normally saves people a lot of money. And we help people bit by bit by bit to, in fact, change their lifestyles. So please do check that out. Thought I heard somebody coming in. So please do check that out. And again, get the book, follow me there, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about Mike Mutzel. I am a big fan. I don't necessarily love this shirt, straight out of cookies. I've had this shirt for years and years and years. This is one of my Fat Men shirts. And it's one of the ones I kept. I just kept it because it's nice and loose. And I sometimes like it baggy. Is that Cookie Monster? What does the shirt say? It says straight out of cookies. Because I don't eat cookies anymore unless Crystal makes them for me. Caesar, how you doing? Novix, Heather, Brian. Yep, it's got hacked. Amelia, I'm waiting to hear back from Twitter, but again, I'm not thinking that I'm going to actually fucking hear anything back unless that's them right now. Nope, it is not. But Lady Hawk, how are you doing? Mike's channel is very smart. I'm very pleased with this video. It came out this morning. So here's the thing too. Make sure you go watch his video and leave a comment. I am going to do a review. I haven't watched the whole thing. I just know that him and I have very similar thought processes on many, many, many things. And I'm super jealous as fuck of his sauna. Just jealous as fuck, like petty ass jealousy of it. Like I am petty ass jealous of this man's sauna because it's fucking amazing. And I mean, absolutely fucking amazing. Anyway. We are live on our new Twitter, which is very cool. I just hope everybody understands. Like I'm just gonna roll with the punches on this shit because they've been trying to ban me for fucking years. So it is what the fuck it is. It just, that's how it is. Not necessarily them as in Twitter, but social media in general. So. Hey, Anna, I actually got a notification, health over aesthetics. I love the physiology. Absolutely. That's awesome. You got a notification too. Thank you for following. Cataluna, how are you doing? What's up, Julian? Awesome guy. I watch him a lot. I watch his stuff too. I'm a fan. So I was about to watch his video when I saw yours come. Please do go watch his video, though. I'm just saying, please do go watch his video. And by the way, guys, No Morbidity ought to be back for sale here by hopefully by Friday, if not by Tuesday of next week. And then you can still get it at Vitamin Shop, but I'm sure supplies are starting to probably run low at Vitamin Shop too. So I hope everybody's having a good day with that shit. I want to build a sauna like his, but first I got to, I mean, it's amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I'm very pleased. We're going to go watch it right now, as a matter of fact. Let's do this shit. All right, let's do this right fucking now. Keyboard's running a little slow. I don't know why. It can't keep up with my ass. That's what's happening. And so again, I'm going to say to everybody, make sure you watch and subscribe to his channel. I am amazing. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people reached out. It's about time. So, and the deals you get on Ambrosia and Tiger are just amazing. The deals are the thing. So, and I'll be releasing the links and everything like that. So go ahead and please use my link. And if you use MFing COO as a checkout thing, you get 5% off too. Anything from Ambrosia. Share screen, Chrome tab. And this is Health Experts Got It Wrong by High Intensity Health. So we're going to listen to this man's words at 1.25 speed. And Mike, if you watch this, I'd love to have you on the channel and us to have a conversation about the different aspects of how we view health and stuff like that. We have very similar takes on some stuff and we differ on others. I think it would be very, very neat to have a discussion between you and I. We're going to pop this up. He's at 1.25 speed. So for those of you that are going to say, does he really sound like that? No, he doesn't really sound like this. But here we go. And we're going to turn the volume all the way up there and the volume all the way up here. Boom.
Both policymakers and the media are on the wrong side of history for ignoring solutions that actually improve health.
Okay, so that might be actually a little too fast. Mike speaks pretty fast, just like I do. So we're just going to listen to him normal.
I have a new study that reviewed over 12 million scientific articles related to all things COVID-19 disease severity and risk factors increasing the risk for disease severity. And guess what this paper found? After using artificial intelligence to comb through all of the data, they found that the same contributing factors that worsen or contribute to severe COVID-19 are involved in the etiology and development of common chronic diseases.
A lot of this is like for obesity, a lot of it is that the fatter you are, the worse outcomes you have. And we went over this, I believe, even yesterday. It's a lot of it's the ACE2 inhibitor, but it also is a huge factor that there's just free floating cytokines in a morbidly obese person's body. Like the way it works is that fat cells get bigger and bigger and divide and everything like that. And then some fat cells die off, like they actually get choked out. Their circulation gets choked. And your body releases things called macrophages. The macrophages eat the dead cell, basically, because it's an injury, basically. And they release things like TNFA, which is tumor necrosis factor alpha, IL-1, IL-6, and IL-10, which are they're all inflammatory markers. They're all cytokines. So the body is in a constant state of inflammation, of chronic inflammation.
So we've heard over and over that this is the pandemic of the unvaccinated.
That's total bullshit. We've all known it forever.
Is really the pandemic of the unhealthy. Now, I know for some of you that might be offensive because perhaps you've ignored your health over the years. So
Mike's saying very commonsensical things and worried about being offensive. I tell you what, dude, I like, here's what will happen. Next time I'm going to, I might even still do a full anger translation on this video just because fun, you know?
So this video is not to shame you. This video and this podcast is designed to inspire you, to encourage you to make the modifiable lifestyle factors and nutrition changes to improve your health. Let's dive into the data. I think you'll find this quite interesting. The title of the paper here is Modifiable Contribute.
Okay, so we're going to actually pull this paper up. Modifiable contributing factors to COVID-19 comprehensive review. He has it there, but this is ResearchGate. Read full text. They want fucking. These people want fucking money, of course. Oops, sorry about that.
Both policymakers and the media are on the wrong side of history for ignoring solutions that actually improve health.
We're gonna go right here.
The title of the paper here is Modifiable Contributing Factors to COVID-19, a Comprehensive Review by Scientists in Israel. They say the contributing factors that contribute to COVID-19 also contribute to the development and exacerbation of many chronic diseases.
That's basically the statement that has been made by myself, this gentleman over here, Mark, for the entirety of the whole thing. Like the reality that we did not do anything to get people healthier during this makes it comical. Like it makes the whole thing like a Greek tragedy. It just does. It's fucking ridiculous in that we've known this stuff.
As results from the study and from our recent COVID-19 chronic disease commonality studies have shown, from the perspective of causality, COVID-19 and associated comorbidities have very similar origins. Let me just take a quick pause, friends. When I promoted this very idea about 3 years ago, this January, to be precise, January 27th, 2020, there was many people that said, I'm unfollowing you. You are not, this is not what the experts are saying. You do not know what you're talking about. Stay in your lane. This is a—
God, to stay in your, because I used to use the hashtag stay in your lane. When people said that to me, non-fucking stop, like stay in your fucking lane. You're not a doctor, it's not. But health is my lane. Like health and fitness is my lane. And reading research and shit like that is my fucking lane. Like, because there's not a PhD next to my name, because I didn't pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to then like have those three letters, does not mean I cannot fucking read. I mean, especially when you consider that I have 12 years or more of, executive level healthcare decision-making processes and sitting in on review boards for disaster plans, including outbreak plans on entire counties in the United States. It amazed me that people were just like, stay in your lane, blah, 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 blah. Like, but I'm right. But we were right. People like me, him, we were right the whole fucking time. And this, I mean, of course, this comprehensive study and this guy's video and me saying that we were right is just going to get absolutely ignored. I mean, for the most part, like you folks in the comments section, some are probably here to hate on it and some are probably here to agree with it. But it is absolutely real that for the most part, it's going to get ignored. People are just going to keep going on the Fucci train to, basically, lemming up and still follow what they have to say. But it is a pandemic of the unhealthy, period.
A new pathogen, diet, lifestyle, exercise has nothing to do with it. While they stockpiled McDonald's, soda, breads, sugar, and flour. Okay, Here we are now, 3 years later almost, and we have esteemed scientists who are able to comb through data using artificial intelligence of 12 million scientific published papers and find, oh, well, guess what? The origins of severe COVID-19 and death from COVID-19 have similar etiology as to the origins of common chronic diseases. We're talking about high blood pressure. We're talking about obesity. We're talking about, sleep apnea. We're talking about diabetes.
Disease,
okay?
Diabetes.
So this is one and the same. So how can we expect, if we ignore the underlying health conditions in a population that's very unhealthy and just slap a mask on them and keep giving them perpetual shots and booster shots, that is somehow going to make them healthy? You've just heard the news that the majority of COVID deaths are now in fully vaccinated people. So we are literally, by omitting this message, by ignoring this health promoting message, we're claiming lives, my friends. Remember how it was such a big deal? Every life we have to save, we have to inform, we have to mandate. Well, what about the people that are still dying from COVID? Because they have not been told that the McDonald's and the chicken nuggets and the Starbucks muffins that they're eating for breakfast is making them vulnerable, is weakening the effects of the vaccine and much more. So
the public health officials have there's not a chance that public health officials don't know this. I mean, you got to be dumb as fuck. Like you got to be stupid if you don't see this as a public health official. You have to be you're either horrible at your job or you're selling out. It's reality, I
think this is really important. And as I say, any long-term strategy for addressing either COVID-19 or the associated comorbidities must involve reducing/eliminating exposure to toxic stimuli and modifying and eliminating toxic behaviors, such as malnutrition, such as persistent organic pollutants, PCBs, organophosphates. They talk a lot about the different chemicals, mold toxicity, but of course, toxic lifestyle behaviors. So before we continue on, friends, I just want to welcome you back. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hitting the like button. If you're enjoying the content, please leave a comment and please share this video with a friend. As you know, exercise is one of the most important modifiable lifestyle factors that you can embark on. It improves everything from lowering your blood pressure to improving your sleep, from improving testosterone and hormone levels.
I'm willing to bet it's them selling out. It is. I think it's a combination between them selling out. Some people just bought into the rhetoric. I mean, some people have made this their whole ass personality. Like some people have made like, we could go over some TikToks, but I was going to do some TikToks today about people that have lost their shit about masks and shit like that. Like they're screaming at the top of their lungs about these people being in a children's hospital without a mask on. I was in ICU units every week, multiple times a week for close to a dozen years, never, ever once wore a mask. I mean, never, ever once, you know? And it's just, it's ridiculous shit, you know? Like these people have truly, people have truly lost their minds with this stuff. They've truly like jumped the shark, you know?
Improving fat loss, blood sugar control, and much more. We're huge fans of exercise, and we're also fans of pairing electrolytes with creatine. You have therapeutic levels science.
Please go check his stuff out.
Going on here, the current approach here is virology centric. Many people were focused on the virus, a new variant. Oh, this one's more transmissible. Oh, this one evades vaccines. Oh, this one is this, right? But
I'm going to be the first one to say that if you make it so, even if you get sick, you're not going to get that sick because you're in good health at a healthy weight. You have good vitamin D levels. Vitamin D is a huge thing here. I don't even know if he mentions this, but vitamin D is a huge thing. It's disgusting that our public health officials have not talked about it at all, because vitamin D deficiency kills a lot of people every year secondhand. It's basically the reason why a lot of people end up getting pneumonia, cytokine storms in their lungs, and dying because they are, vitamin D deficient. COVID's no different.
Why are we focusing on the host terrain? This is something we talked about. Louis Pasteur talked about. It's not the microbes, silly. It's the host terrain. The germ is nothing. The terrain is everything, was the exact quote. It's now over 100 years old. So as the scientists say, they say an expanded virology toxicology centric approach would be aimed at identifying and removing the modifiable contributing factors to immune system dysfunctionality. This is the important salient word in this sentence. Immune system dysfunctionality.
Yes.
You have obesity, hypertension, prediabetes, diabetes. You have blood sugar irregularities. These lead to immune system dysfunctionality.
I mean, it's not even arguable. And yet we do. Like, it's just back and forth constantly. Like, we are literally at a stage in society where even though we're supposedly destroying society to protect everybody from a cold, nobody is trying to protect themselves from a cold. Like, nobody individually is trying to protect themselves from a cold. People have just gotten fatter, less healthy, all sorts of shit. It's this weird society. Like, society's fucking crazy right now. And it's because people, I've had so many people be like, you don't take COVID seriously and you blah, blah, blah. Like, COVID's a real ass virus. It's just deadly for people that aren't me. It's deadly for unhealthy people. I'm a healthy people. I make sure I work hard to be a healthy people. And I feel for people that this is dangerous to, elderly people, but one of the things you got to realize, elderly people are susceptible to a lot of shit. It's reality. But I do feel really bad for people that haven't woken up to the fact that, like, maybe you being fat as fuck is the risk,
Okay, so you have all these people with immune system dysfunctionality because of their poor diets, their lifestyle, their obesity, their sleep apnea, and you tell them, oh, you just need to get a new booster shot every 6 months and wear a mask everywhere you go and just overdose on hand sanitizer. My friends, this is not the solution. No. We need to focus on the root cause of the immune system dysfunctionality.
How people eat, sleep, and hydrate, and stress relief. Those are the root causes.
It's not just me saying this. Yeah, of course, myself and many others have been talking about the improving immune system health for 3 years, But now you have scientists saying, hey, look, we combed through 12 million pieces of literature that have been published over the last 36 months. And guess what? We're finding contributing modifiable factors that worsen chronic disease and worsen severe COVID, and they're the same. They're two sides of the same coin. So we can no longer run and hide from pathogens and continue to implement the insane policies. And
the concept of of zero COVID was literally like anybody that ever said that, anybody, I don't care what, like if they're your favorite politician, find a fucking new one. Because anybody that ever said, like talked about zero COVID, or anybody that actually talked about beating the virus is either so fucking stupid they do not deserve your adoration, or such a fucking sellout that they're willing to watch people die. I mean, that's just reality. Anybody that ever said zero COVID or we're going to defeat COVID, it is a virus that has been around the fucking world multiple times. By the time we even realized it was in America, it had already been around the world. That makes it endemic. Once it's endemic, there's no fucking beating it. The only way you can beat it is to be healthy from it. Like, we should have been encouraging young, healthy people to go out and get this virus as quickly as possible. We should have threw one big chickenpox party, except it was for COVID for young people. Because young people have relatively no risk at all, and it would have lowered the amount of viral load in the environment. Basically, it would have reduced the rate of transmission. You know, like to me, it's this crazy shit that we didn't really like look to do. You know, like we didn't really like look into the actual thought process of it. You're not going to stop the tide. You're not going to stop nature. Like, the tide is still going to come in. People are still going to get colds. We've proven in the last, I don't know, 3 years that hiding from this actually weakens people. Like, that's what we've done.
You might think, Mike, COVID's over. Why are you talking about this? No, it's not. If you work at Google, Amazon, Facebook, if you go to University of Washington or you go to Harvard, guess what? You need to not only wear a mask in most places when you're on those campuses, but you also need to be up to date on your immunizations, right? These are the same immunizations that people that have been dying in the hospital have gotten, by the way. I'm just throwing it out there. So why aren't we focusing with the same degree, matching the intensity, about lessening the immune system dysfunctionality? Because these are things that are sustainable. If we're serious about saving lives, we should be serious about this. Now, I do just want you to know the areas that are modifiable, that you have tangible control over, okay? So
awesome.
What they focused on here, again, 12,700,000 abstract-derived phrases from PubMed, okay, over the past 3 years.
Wow.
And they looked at the lifestyle category. And this includes advanced glycation end products. So one of those that you should be running on your blood is the hemoglobin A1C test. They looked at alcoholism, circadian rhythm disruption, fructose. They looked at iron deficiency, magnesium.
Circadian rhythm destruction, that's sleep.
Magnesium deficiency, vitamin B12 deficiency, and vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah.
They also looked at vitamin A insufficiency, poor sleep, and on and on. So these are all lifestyle modifying factors that you have volitional control over, friends. You should be supplementing with vitamin D and vitamin A. You should have sufficient magnesium, especially if you exercise or go in the sauna. You should supplement. You shouldn't have circadian rhythm disruption. You know now how to treat that. We've talked about this ad nauseum. Morning sunlight, dimming your lights at night, making sure that your bedroom is under 5 lux. I've shared with you meters and how to do this. They also looked at iatrogenic categories, such as the exposure to analgesics. So these would be like Tylenols, ibuprofen, painkillers, things like that, antidepressants.
Antidepressants. Do you know how many people are on antidepressants in America? There's like fucking 200 million subscriptions or prescriptions for antidepressants. Look at this. So the consistent taking of analgesics, antipsychotic drugs, antidepressants. I mean, of course, bone marrow transplantation, you're going to be weaker. Chemotherapy, you're going to be weaker. Let's see here. Kidney transplantation, liver transplantation. If you've been through a transplant, you should be treating yourself very, 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 very fucking carefully.
Certain drugs interfere or interact with the immune system and actually make people more vulnerable to severe infectious disease, it turns out.
This could be a reason, the steroid use could be a reason why there's so many bodybuilders dying. of heart disease, heart issues and shit like that. Very realistic. That or the fucking jab, of course.
Out. And so they looked at that as well. What's interesting about this paper is they also looked at biotoxins. So we're talking about mycotoxins like mold, cytomegalovirus, herpes simplex virus, and also occupational and food exposure to persistent organic pollutants, or the POPs, the POPs, endocrine disrupting chemicals, including but not limited to arsenic, benzene, benzidine, BPA, cadmium, and much more, lead. And this, I think, is the most important category, is the psychosocial aspect of it. Stress, living in isolation, right? Remember how it was such a brilliant idea to lock everyone in their homes and isolate people? Well, guess what that does? When you're isolated, my friends, that leads to feelings of angst, anxiety.
That's what I always fucking. That's what I always fucking thought was crazy. Like stress is a comorbidity, and it was listed, by the way, at the CDC as a comorbidity. You know, it was absolutely listed as a comorbidity, right? So how are you going to stress people? How are you going to control people's stress? Instead of giving everybody all the information at the very beginning of this, people acted like the world was literally falling. We watched a death ticker every single fucking day. The death ticker was then broken down by state, by fucking person, not by age group. No, we didn't do that. Not by age and not by comorbidities. We didn't break that shit down. You had to search for that fucking information. Instead, they told you that even your children were at very serious risk. Your children were at horrible risk when they were at none. They've openly fucking lied. Anybody that ever said we're trying to protect children by closing schools or we're trying to protect children by putting masks on them fucking lied. They are a fucking liar. But so we have all these people stressed out. So, of course, by the way, this is also a win because I would imagine that the number of antidepressants that got prescribed in the last 3 years skyrocketed even from the already ridiculous amount that was before then. Like, you see the pattern here. Like, right? Like we're going to give you a known comorbidity of these things because they knew anxiety and stress was a comorbidity, again, at the very beginning. We're going to give you a comorbidity by locking you in your fucking house and completely disrupting your lives. And, some of you are going to be worried about how you can pay your fucking bills. We're going to make it damn near illegal to think for yourself. And even when you go to the grocery store, it's going to be a traumatic event because people are going to scream at you to go follow the lines in the grocery store as if the air doesn't froth over and shit like that. And we're going to, basically put out this massive, huge pretend that this virus was actually killing more people than anything else, when in fact, obesity killed more people in 2020 than the virus by itself. I just don't fucking, I don't get it. How stupid are people? You guys are dumb. Dumb. Not you guys. You guys are all awesome, of course. Those of you that are watching this, and this guy is fucking intelligent as fuck. But let's get fucking real. It's stupid. I want to make sure I'm not here.
Anxiety, depression, sleeplessness. Well, guess what? Your immune system is not disconnected from your central nervous system. The whole field of psychoneuroimmune endocrinology has been burgeoning with research over the past 20 years. When you're depressed, your immune system is altered. I shared with you a study on Monday of this week on our live video where we talked about in HIV positive individuals who are homosexual, the men who are still in the closet had statistically, after controlling for other factors, worse outcomes compared to men who are open. Okay, so what does that mean? If you're living in a lie, if you're cheating on your spouse, if you're stealing money in your business, if you're supposed to be working 20 hours a week, but you're only going to the office 10 hours and your boss doesn't yet know, you're living a lie. When you lie or when you're dishonest and you're not telling your truth and living with integrity, that compromises the health of your immune system. Mm-hmm. So for all the people that said, well, I had a friend 100. Who was healthy, they exercise and they still got severe COVID. So therefore anyone can get severe COVID. Well, let's talk about your friend's social connections. Yeah. Let's talk about your friend's circadian rhythm disruption.
Let's talk about your friend's vitamin D. Because that's the thing. You can't tell by looking at somebody if they're vitamin D deficient. You can't tell if they're under a lot of stress. A lot of people hide stress really fucking well. I got decently sick not too long ago. I got a chest cold after I had E. coli. I had E. coli poisoning from not boiling water here. This was probably in September. But I had E. coli poisoning from not boiling the water because we were under a water boil. I didn't know. And then that weakened me to the point where I got a bad chest cold. like bad chest cold. Now, I still did my job every fucking day, and I just coughed once or twice. It was way worse than when I had COVID. That's for fucking sure. Like way, way, way worse. But still, I'm under one of the reasons why I think I got sick is I have a high stress life, you know?
We can't just look at one factor like nutrition or exercise.
Right.
There's many other factors, as we've been talking about. The toxins, the biotoxins, the iatrogenesis, what medications was your friend on or not on? All those things come into play here. Even being unmarried was linked, and so people are living alone mostly, was linked with more severe COVID, right? Because you're ruminating, you're stressing, you're reading the statistics and all of that. And so again, this is very important. The people that have ignored this are going to be on the wrong side of history. There's only been one major public health official policymaker in the entire world, Nayib Bukele in El Salvador, where he talked about, and they promoted a video in 2021, it was about this time, like November 2021, and said, hey, look, there's a lot of modifiable factors that we have access to, and encourage citizens to exercise outdoors, to eat healthy foods, to get sleep and less sugar. And that was brilliant. But unfortunately, that video only got like 6 million views. Remember, we just hit 8 billion people on planet Earth. Only 6 million people saw that video, my friend. So we need to spread this message. And I want to read to you the conclusion of this article.
Please do.
Any long-term strategy for addressing either COVID-19 or the associated comorbidities must involve reducing, eliminating exposure to toxic stimuli and modifying toxic behaviors.
See, the point by this is, though, and I have videos based on this. 2020 was the biggest missed opportunity in public health policy ever, right? We were a tragically sickly country in the United States and many other countries, just sick. We eat like shit. We sleep like shit, chronically dehydrated, chronically dehydrated. I'm surprised that wasn't even actually mentioned in there, but being dehydrated is a toxic behavior because you're not hydrating your body. You're giving your body the hydration it needs. So I wonder if that would be, I'm going to read that whole study here later on today. But the thing is, we were radically sick. And so here's where I have kind of like a disjunction, right? This is why I think it was purposeful from the beginning. And you guys can call me a conspiracy theorist. I don't give a shit. But very purposely, we ignored some basics. Facial decorations have never, nor will they ever, stop viruses. It just doesn't work that way. You know, the virus is too small to get through and it gets through what's up, babe? The virus is too small and it gets through the netting. I see you. Calm down. It is okay. I got you. But the holes in the mask, they just go right through, right? Now, there's that. The whole concept of 6 feet was absolutely positively made up. There was no data to ever support that whatsoever, period. The things that they shadow banned people for and that they did not talk about are very telling, right? Like Mark Lobliner was shadow banned on YouTube for talking about vitamin D in relation to the flu. He didn't even bring up the vid word. In relation to the flu, he brought it up and got shadow banned for it, even though vitamin D deficiency probably is a contributing factor to a lot of the deaths we had, not just of that, but of the flu and other viruses and other things like that. It's a huge factor, right? And we also, like, little things that made no sense to me were like how we didn't shelter college kids in place. Like, these kids have been around each other from all parts of the country, have been around each other for months. Then they go to spring break to meet other kids from all around the country, and they all get together. And then we send them back from spring break, and they get together at their universities for another week or so to intermingle, to spread the germs that they just caught from people that they met from around the rest of the other fucking universities, right? And instead of us sheltering them in place, right? Instead of us instead of us having them stay there, they're young, they're healthy for the most part, or at least they're young. They get, they get fucking the vid, they normally barely know they had it because they're in very, 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 very safe population. And then they get immunity, and then maybe they can come home. But sending them straight home to the elderly parents and or elderly grandparents and middle-aged parents was fucking crazy. You know, now you've got a bunch of people around each other that wouldn't have been around each other. Some people of some people of greater risk than others. Like that made no sense. Yoke Nick just talked about the elbows instead of handshaking. The majority of people I've seen sneeze in the crook of their elbow. That's very true. There's so much,
My friends, this should be the viral message. Again, so many people have literally been masking their unhealthy lifestyle with hand sanitizer, social distancing, and all the other things.
Ridiculous.
Those factors, right? Focusing on the virology and sort of centric approach, that is not lessening the immune dysfunctionality that many people experience. And so it's time that we start to make this the main thing. Yeah. As many people have talked about, make the main thing the main thing. And this is a business. I think Jim Rohn had talked about this and other folks. So we need to focus on the root cause and addressing the root cause and not continuing to ignore it and literally put masks on ourselves forever until the end of time. I remember when it was such a big deal to ban straws, because
they're talking about that now, by the way. They're talking about a lot of places are talking about, because we have a tridemic of the flu, the vid, and RSV. Mask yourself. Well, it obviously didn't do too well for the last 2 or 3 years, you dumb fucks. Why in the there you go, right on your pillow. Why in the fuck would we keep doing it? I don't even understand. It's stupid. It's stupidity. It just is ridiculous. Don't bark at me.
Straws were just destroying the planet. But now all these people are wearing disposable face masks every single day and throwing them away. I mean, at some point, we got to really think about the global waste and single-use waste that we're creating here and focus on the root cause. So let me know what you think about that. I would love to read your comments below. I'll share.
Amazing video. Please do. And again, Mike, if you end up watching this, love the video, love the fucking content. And for everybody in the comments section, I'm going to do some Q&A, obviously. But I highly suggest, and please do me a favor, go watch his full video, give him the views. Make sure you check out his pitch for his stuff. I hear nothing but great things about his products. Mike, I'd love for us to do a live at some point in time. I would love for us to have a nice conversation, maybe me, you, and a few other people. We can talk about shit we don't agree on and talk about shit we agree on. I think it would be very fucking neat. And I think that shit like that is important. Again, like I really do encourage people that if you don't like me, especially, let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Like, I think it's important that we in society continue to do these things, continue to talk about things, because when we don't, we just eventually end up fucking just, not coming to any conclusions. We end up just hating each other. Like, the reality of the situation is, for what you just heard, it's the stuff that I've been talking about. And I know he's been talking about it for a while too. I saw this video this morning and I thought it was amazing. I only watched like the first half and all of it delivered. I love how he breaks stuff down scientifically. He is super fucking nice. So I might do an anger translation for him. But why we didn't talk about people, people are abusing themselves even more now than what they have been. And that's sad. I mean, that's truly sad. Like it's not a good thing. Or abusing themselves with food and alcohol and everything like that. Let me see. Alice in Chains. Is it is in book form? It's in book form, but it is a PDF. So if you're talking if it's a hardback or a paperback, no, it's not a hardback or paperback, but it is in book form. And again, by the way, everybody, you can follow me at the Alan Roberts on Twitter, because that is the new one. I don't know if I'm getting the other one back, but there is a link to the Hunger Management Method Beyond Willpower. You get a month of our app with that too. So you get live pre-recorded classes. As a matter of fact, let me check. Let me show you all something here, because Crystal is teaching mad amounts of fucking classes, mad amounts of classes this fucking week. Here we go. So I highly suggest that you guys check this shit out. This is the classes she is teaching this week. Yesterday, she did a group walk and build up boot camp. Today, she just did strength endurance a little bit ago. She has a core power class, which is a crazy good class. Tomorrow, she's going on group walks and Tabata cardio. Then she has an 11 a.m. Pilates class, a strength fusion class, and then Tabata strength and cardio for Friday at 11 a.m. All of them in Eastern time zones. So again, you can, are those classes you and Crystal or just Crystal? Crystal leads those classes. I am going to be joining for some of them, but Crystal leads those classes. My wife is the most amazing fitness instructor that most people have never fucking known about. Like, I mean, because she's not a big social media person, but she is a fucking genius. She is my coach. The hunger management method is like her kind of doing and, you know, coaching me and how we coach our clients. So I really wish my schedule's lined up with the classes, but I've been wanting to try some. Let's see what we can do. I was trying to purchase it as a gift for my friend for Christmas. You can absolutely purchase it for your friend for Christmas, but it's not a hard copy book. So it just use that person's email, and it will go to them. Okay, that normally works for people that do that. Sorry, I messed your name up really bad. I don't know if you messed my name up or not. No big deal. No big deal. But she teaches all the classes. I've been wanting to know what is the difference between no morbidity and Ember. No morbidity is non-stimulant, non-thermogenic based, and it's appetite suppressant with stress relief. Ember is right here, as a matter of fact. Ember is a fat burn appetite control supplement, and it is a high stimulant supplement. So basically, it makes, I mean, I take a half first thing in the morning sometimes when I don't do coffee. Then I take a half at midday. And then I take no morbidity a little later on. I take, with all three of those, I take hang on a second. Allison, I will take care of it. I'll message you. I will message you there. Okay. But I'll message you in the app if you already signed on, if you already got there. I've been wanting to know what, and we're back to this. So Ember is something that is, like, to me, is very high stimulant. So I don't take it every single day, and I definitely don't take a full one every day. There are many days where I take just a half, but no morbidity I take every day consistently at the same time. Just go with it, right? Here's my stupidity, Alan. My girlfriend and I did get the first C19 shots. After the second part of the shot, my girlfriend had uncontrollable shaking for 30 hours, and her parents want her to get a dose again. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I would have a very serious conversation. That's all I can say. You know, can we say young people are low risk? Can we say young people are low risk anymore? People are super fat before 10 now. Well, that's why you always hear me say, if you're young and healthy-ish, if you're under 65 and healthy-ish, this is of less danger to you than the seasonal flu, statistically. But if you're unhealthy, you're unhealthy. Being fat is unhealthy for you. Gluttoning yourself on highly processed items that cause inflammation, unhealthy for you. So the only free time I have the weekday is between 5:30 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. And that's when, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. Like, not that early. Appreciate it. No worries, man. And I'll make my 6-month no morbidity review on my YouTube channel. I can't wait. I'm my third bottle now today. That's awesome. Awesome. And my mother is going through chemo for terminal cancer. We have refused to get any more boosters for her. I can't believe that they would want to give her a booster. I just can't believe they would. So thoughts on 7-Eleven being USA's most popular grocery chain. Now, I wonder, like, there's no, like, I don't know who all has, if there's produce there or anything like that. I will say that I can eat, I will say that I can eat healthy from anywhere, including the gas station. Beans and rice, you can only buy dry. You can eat healthy, but it's a pain in the ass. And my thoughts are, that's crazy. I've been doing OMAD. I want to cut, and my TDEE says about 1,500 calories a day. Is it okay to do 1,500 calorie meal in one go, or should I break it up? Jordan, your TDEE says 1,500 calories. I don't know. That's pretty fucking low. Like, I mean, I'm not going to, like, if that's your total daily energy expenditure, I mean, is that your goal? And, if you're only going to eat one, once a day, eat what your goal is, still try to make it so it's healthy food, like it's healthy whole foods. But there's a lot of variables in there that I don't know, that I can't say it's okay for you to do or not do. If it's controlling your hunger, great. Because I really believe that. I think that hunger management is the key to success, because if you are hungry, it makes it so you're going to want to, eat all the time. If you are satiated and not hungry, you don't eat, unless you're eat out of nervousness or eat out of stress or something like that. And that is stuff that you then address. But if you've controlled your hunger and you're adequately nourished, and then you start eating just because of stress, like you were eating when you know you're not hungry, then you address those issues from there, I hate that my ex has my kids half the time and feeds them trash food. That would drive me insane also. That would drive me crazy. But luckily, I don't ever have to worry about that. And I had all the vaccinations pointless. There's hardly any food at 7-Eleven. I was shocked to hear that, actually. Let's see here. Any questions, guys? Any questions? Instead of you guys just talking about 7-Eleven. So 5'8.5", 173. Could have sworn I dropped at least 15 from a high of 176. I don't know. I don't know. When is Nomo back? It should be back either this Friday and or Tuesday. So we had to get third party. We do third party testing occasionally. We are making it so hopefully within the next by January, there is not going to ever be an outage between Vitamin Shop, Tiger Fitness, Ambrosia, everybody Nutrition, and a few other places. And we're looking to get a vendor in Europe too. So let's see here. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions? We got 15 minutes. 15 minutes to talk about shit. And I know that, by the way, I know this is 2 videos back to back where I'm talking about the pandemic. And I'm sorry if a lot of people don't like that. But I got to be real. Like, it's the stuff that needs to be talked about. It just needs to be talked about. We can't keep ignoring all this shit. We can't. The people are dying. So why did I modify my tats? Well, I didn't like the armbands that I just had. I liked them, but they were old, and I decided I wanted to go full 90s look and do tribal all over myself. I love it. I love them. So why did I modify them? Because I wanted to. That's the best fucking advice. That's the best thing I could say. Do you have an audiobook that I can listen to while at work? I do not, but I'm thinking about recording it. We'll see. We shall see. How many calories are in roast beef? I don't know off the top of my head. I got to be real. I don't know off the top of my head. You and Crystal should watch the documentary Prescription Thugs. That's one of the ones that's on our list. So we'll keep an eye out for it. Question. I have one last bottle of 3 for Nomo. I kind of want to take a break from it to see if the effects still last. Would 3 months be too much? Be off too much? I got to be real. I didn't notice any, once I have my lifestyle stuff in order, I did notice that I got hungrier, a little earlier. But if you've used it to build healthy lifestyle choices, that's solid. I would try it for a month, okay, and then see how you feel, and then go for a second month. If you remain the same, you're good. No morbidity, which I'm super, super proud of. No morbidity is not meant to be something you stay on forever, okay? We're not the pharmaceutical industry. We don't want clients for life necessarily. We want people to use this supplement for 3 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years if necessary, 3 years if really, really, really necessary, to help you build healthy habits and help you, escape the pitfalls of eating garbage and eating in disordered fashions. For a lot of people like myself, I'm probably always going to take it because it's my product. I'm just going to be very, very honest. And I like being super honest when it comes to the supplement side of this shit. I take it because it fucking works. I take No Morbidity not because it's my product. I take it because it fucking works. I am a binge eater. I struggle with binge eating disorder every day of my fucking life. Even when I'm on No Morbidity, I still am very mindful that I could binge at any given fucking day, any given fucking time if I don't watch what I fucking do. So, like, if I don't watch, if I don't watch my hydration, especially, so I try to get 200 ounces of fluid minimum a day. If I don't get enough sleep for day after day after day, and then I have stressful events, like more stressful than my life normally is, it's a problem, and I feel it in the back of my head. I am 1 year and 11 months of not binging, and I have been on no morbidity for probably a year and 6 months of that, you know, and with a month off here, a month off there. And oftentimes, like, I just got back on no morbidity because I was testing out all the ingredients for product 2 that we're going to be releasing sometime at in the first fiscal quarter of next year. And I wanted to make sure I tested it on myself in the vacuum of that's all I was using. I didn't use Ember. I didn't use anything else. And then I just used it and Ember. And then I used it and no morbidity. And now I'm on all 3 where I have literally no appetite at all. So I eat like pretty much like, okay, do I have enough fiber today? Okay, I'll eat some beans. Do I have enough protein today? Okay, I'll eat some meat. Like, that's how I think about it. It's not that I don't love food still, not that I don't love the flavor of it. I just am not hungry, and I don't think about food unless I like actually have to. So, Julian, I would say, like, let's try a month off of it, but I wouldn't necessarily like put a time frame on for a month, 3 months. See how you feel after the first month, and then go from there. There's a vitamin shop in my area. Hope to see it there. It should be nationwide. It is in every store. It's just a matter of if they have sold out of it or not. Okay. Best shoulder workout. I have a slight bicep tear, and surgery is not recommended, dude. It depends on the bicep tear. Talk to your doctor before you do anything. But I do most of my shoulder work is side lateral raises, front raises, and I watch the supination of my wrists very carefully. And if I do any pressing, I do standing overhead press with extremely light weight and just control it. Extremely, extremely lightweight. I do a lot of face pulls with a TRX. But I don't do heavy weight on my shoulders ever anymore at all. Not that, I mean, I used to throw around the 125 dumbbells, one each hand for 10 sets of 10. I don't even know how much I can do right now, and I don't care. So, do you have an audiobook? Oh, we already went over that. I feel like there should be a warning label on processed food. There absolutely should be, especially for children. A year and a half of intermittent fasting and increased activity plus 7 months on no morbidity Ember, and I only lost 3 pounds, but my body has changed so much, fit into old clothes, feel great, but BMI is 25.9 thoughts. If I was you, I would take the opportunity, like, if your waist to height ratio is good, waist to height ratio is 0.4, I think you're plenty fucking fine. I really do. That's the waist to height ratio is what I go by. So especially if you're under a 30 BMI, waist to height ratio normal, and you feel good with how you're doing, and it's sustainable, you're fucking solid. In my opinion, of course. I'm just going to say that. So, let's see. Off topic opinions on the president swapping the prisoner for Brittany. I think it opens us up to like have people detained in other countries all around the fucking world. If they have a prisoner, if we're holding a prisoner of theirs, it endangers Americans around the world, because they become an instant bargaining chip. But the sad thing is if they don't, like, there are literally Marines and shit like that being held in Russia for very similar stuff, and we didn't even give a fuck about them. I have very little to say that's not going to get me banned. I will say this, that the next time you type president in on my in my chat, can you please use quotation marks around it? Because this has very little to do with the 2020 election. This has a lot to do with if the president of the United States right now were to have to try to apply for a entry-level government job, due to their familial ties and their own business dealings, they would not get security clearance. That's just a reality. If the president of the United States right now applied for an entry-level government job and they had to do a security clearance check, the president would not pass it. They would not get granted security clearance, even low-level security clearance, due to their ties with their business dealings and ties, even as an adjunct to foreign powers. They would not get security clearance. Just fucking reality, you know? So please do put the quotation marks, because if our leaders on either side were actually serious about looking out for Americans, that would not stand. People from both political parties would be standing up right now and saying, I'm sorry, but you have disqualified yourself on a national security level. And this would be said for this, by the way, would be said for a lot of people in Congress, and that's the problem. A lot of people in our federal government would not pass basic security clearance due to their business dealings with known bad actors, basically. Not to mention the fact that there's a certain list out there that I'm sure some of them are on, or at least knew about, that they're keeping from the American people. For those of you that aren't aware, I'm a big, and I might still do a video about this later on today or tomorrow, like what I would do if I ran America. You know, like if I had, you know, what I would do. The first thing I would do is, if, you know, there should be no secrets from Americans. Outside troop positioning, there should be nothing that the American people can't see about their government. We should be able to see where every dollar is spent. We should see who's spending it. We should see how it's being spent. We should be able to see who authorized the expenditure. We should be able to tell where every single fucking dollar goes at any given fucking time. And there should be nothing that is classified from us. There's nothing that we shouldn't, like, we have people that we pay. They're our employees. We pay for them, and they're telling us that things that, you know, that we can't know these things. That's not acceptable at all, ever. Things like the Maxwell list, that should be public right now. I mean, there's not, like, I'm sorry, but for us to not be demanding it is weakness as a nation. No, like there's so many things I would do different. Like foreign entities, foreign governments, and foreign corporations should not own land in America. You should have to be a United States citizen to own land in America, or be a company that is owned and headquarters in America to own land in America. And for people that say that's crazy, most countries fucking do that. You cannot own property in Mexico. You can't just go down and buy property in Mexico. You rent that shit. You know? I mean, you can't, like, most countries have it so if you're not a citizen of their country, you can't actually own the fucking land. We should do this also. We should, like, there's not a reason in the world for us to, like, I'm a big isolationist too. We should have people fucking, you know, we should worry about America. We should not give any fucking money away. We shouldn't do anything like that, you know? But it all goes to, like, I mean, you can look at all of this in relation to health too. We openly know. Like, find me a politician that for the last 3 years has been telling people to lose fucking weight. Find me a politician or a public health entity that's been for the last 3 years said, hey, instead of us getting less healthy, we should try to get healthier, and that can help us out with all of this shit and other shit. It would save lives and save money. They don't do it at all whatsoever. If I ran America, no shit. If you fucked up your life, if you fucked up your health due to lifestyle, you're paying for that shit. Not everybody else. You need a much higher premium. You know, you need a much higher premium. You need a much higher fucking at-risk factor. I mean, why should we have shared healthcare expenditure when some people treat their bodies like shit and other people's don't? It shouldn't be that way at all. We should, like, very much so, people should realize that the government is the people that have the food pyramid that still push that shit. They don't give a fuck about you. All that shit should change. All that shit should change. Absolutely. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. But anyway, guys, we got almost less than a minute. Well, did you hear that the FTX could be a money laundering scheme to clean money from the Ukraine? If that shocks anybody, they're crazy. So they don't do it because they're getting lobbied by medical and pharmaceutical companies. Well, that's the lobbying should go away. The corporations should not be able to lobby Congress. They like, that's not how that shit works. Congress's entire job, the federal government's entire job, is to protect our rights and provide common defense. Anything else is, close to being unconstitutional. Them deciding all sorts of shit, like the FDA. Why should the FDA be able to tell you what you can grow at your house? Like, I don't get that. Why should the FDA be able to tell you what plants you can grow and use at your house? Like, why do we trust them enough to tell us what drugs are legal and illegal when 25% of the drugs that they deem legal get recalled for health hazards? We really need to fucking understand where this shit is coming from, because frankly, I'm kind of at a loss at how people are so fucking, it's all of them. Like, that's the thing. That's why I don't fit in with, I don't even fit in with the people on the right as much. It's all of them, right? If they're not talking about health, if they're not talking about, like, we need much smaller government. We need term limits in Congress. We need the government to step the fuck out of our fucking business because they work for us. The NIH, the CDC, the FDA should not be able to tell you. They should not be able to mandate a fuck thing about your health. We should absolutely encourage people to be as healthy as fucking possible, but they, at no point in time, can anybody point to anywhere in the fucking Constitution that says, and by the way, the FDA will be able to tell you what drugs you are supposed to take and not take. Like, it's fucking insanity. That's not freedom. Here's my thing. Legalize it all, right? I have no idea why fucking marijuana and fucking and hemp are still illegal-ish. I have no fucking idea. People should be growing that shit in their yards. Everybody should grow a little bit of food in their fucking yard. We should be encouraging that shit. Like, everybody should grow food in your yard. Instead of paying for a lawn care service every fucking week, for like a lot of people do, we should pay for gardening services where somebody comes in, the gardener comes in and they make sure your fucking lawn's doing well, and you're growing food. You're growing at least some perennials, some sweet potatoes, which provide leafy greens because you can eat the leaves, and tons of fucking healthy energy and fiber and shit like that. They grow almost all around the United States, and they're perennial crop. They just keep coming back. Like, we should be growing food on our fucking property. The government should be able to tell you you're not allowed to. The government should never be able to tell you where you're allowed to fucking go, period. It's fucking insanity. And this past fucking 3 years, they were telling people all the time, you're not allowed to go here, you're not allowed to go there. Fucking that little gremlin was telling people how many people they should be able to have over their house for fucking Christmas. And you motherfuckers, so many motherfuckers just sat there and fucking took it. We should have arrested those people then. Arrested them. Because they don't have the right to tell us that shit. We're not subjects. We are citizens. They don't rule us. They work for us. It's sadness, true fucking sadness, how few people realize this. In 2020, on March 15th, I posted on all of my social media that no matter what governors are talking about, no matter who it was, no matter what they were, Republican or Democrat, they do not have the constitutional authority to tell you to close your fucking business over a cold. They do not have the constitutional authority to tell you to stay in your fucking house. We paused the Constitution in 2020, and it was the biggest mistake we ever made. Because right now we're arguing about shit that literally should not even be arguable. We need to bring back masks and mandate masks. You're not allowed to mandate shit. You're not allowed to mandate shit. Do people realize the Constitution was written and signed during a smallpox epidemic or smallpox pandemic? Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, but instead, people sat the fuck down. A lot of you sat the fuck down. You showed the government that you are, in fact, okay with being their subject, not their citizen. They went to those people showed that they can be ruled over. Our government governs by the consent of the governed. It is in the fucking literature. Read it over and over and over again. Read it. They rule by our consent. They do not get to tell us what rights we get to have. Their entire fucking job is to protect our constitutional rights. If they don't like a constitutional right, they can try to amend that shit. There's steps that can be taken to amend the Constitution. It's been done bunches of fucking times. They do not have the fucking right to usurp the Constitution. And anybody that does so should be arrested. Any politician that does so should be arrested. When somebody says, I don't know if it's constitutional, but we're going to do it anyway, immediately removed from office and put on trial. Immediately. How fucking hard is this, people? This should have happened. But instead, we're arguing back and forth about fucking pronouns and shit like that. But instead, we're worried about like fucking what Harry Styles is wearing. You know? Instead, we're worried about whether Kanye West is crazy or not when he's clearly fucking crazy. You know? I mean, any company that we're literally debanking people. That's, frankly, JP Morgan and Chase should have immediately had all their assets frozen. You're going to deplatform somebody for expressing their freedom of speech. You don't get to bank in America anymore. When you take a stand against the constitutional right of even just one person for arbitrary reasons of your fucking feelings, we should remove their privilege to bank in America. You don't get to do business here. If you don't appreciate the fucking constitutionality of our country, don't do business here. You know? I mean, think like somebody just pointed out, Julian, if you live in Canada, you're not free people at all. We have allowed ourselves, most of North America, we've allowed ourselves to convert our lives to a state of subjecthood versus citizenship. Rights are not rights. They are privileges. When the people that work for you can tell you what rights you have, they are no longer rights. They are privileges. And they can tell you what privilege you get to have and what privileges you don't have. Like, I'm sorry, and I know this is going to upset some people too, but since we're at it, I'll fucking just shoot it on out. Any gun law is unconstitutional. Shall not be infringed is not a hard concept to fucking understand. It says shall not be infringed. When people say a well-regulated, you know what well-regulated meant back then? Well-working. In good function. Well-trained. That's what a militia should be. Well-trained. That's the fucking reality. People need to grasp that. It can't be this fucking, thing where, well, we have to, gun rights. There's no gun rights. There's the Second Amendment. Shall not be fucking infringed. Not a hard concept at all whatsoever. It's not a hard fucking thing to understand. Shall not be infringed. All gun laws are unconstitutional. If your favorite politician, whether they be a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, I don't give a fuck who they are, if they are not trying to absolutely, and I mean absolutely, remove all gun laws, which are in fact not laws, they are infringements upon our rights, then you need to pick a new one. I'm even pissed off at DeSantis about it. Fucking Florida should be a constitutional carry state. No, but to the point where, and just so everybody understands how deeply I feel about this, there shouldn't be background checks. Fuck your background check. If we deem a person safe enough to live in society and be able to have access to drive a fucking vehicle, they're safe enough to own a gun. What the fuck? We're going to pretend like a 2,000-pound fucking vehicle that goes 55 miles an hour isn't actually more dangerous? Do you know how many fucking knife deaths happen over in fucking UK? It's like 45,000 knife deaths happen over there. Like it's insanity the amount of fucking people get stabbed. There are so many other ways for people to hurt each other. You could go to a local Walmart right now, buy all the things you need to have very serious, to cause very serious destruction. Very, very serious. if we deem people safe enough to be in society, out roaming around with everybody, if they're safe enough to do that, they should have all their fucking rights. All of them. We can't treat them like second-class citizens. That's not rehabilitation. Are they rehabilitated or are they not? If they're not rehabilitated, then why the fuck do you have them out? There is so many things that I could talk about for hours and hours and hours that just make common fucking sense. Common fucking sense. Oh, that's they put a freeze on handguns in Canada, and they're not. You guys are not citizens. You do not live in a free fucking country. I mean, it's insanity what's going on. You guys need to take some very serious fucking steps. Normally, and this is no shit, in any other decade, America would be helping Canada right now. America would be helping to liberate Canada because you guys are fucking subjects. It's insane. And somebody just said the Second Amendment, the 2A guarantees all other amendments. Absolutely. There's no fucking reason. Not one per well, what about violent felons? Did they pay for their fucking crime? Are we worried that they're going to be violent with the gun? Are we also going to be worried if we're worried that they're going to be violent with a gun when we let them out? Why would we not be worried that they're going to be violent with a knife or violent with a fucking, items that they can get from fucking any local Walmart or a vehicle? Like, it's insane. The thought concept that that's the only way people are going to get fucking hurt by a violent person. Gun laws don't work anyway. Look at Chicago, which fuck. If you live in Illinois, if you live in Chicago, you motherfuckers realize that as of June 1, people can commit murder and not have to spend a night in jail. They can't, there's no cash bail. Like, what the fuck? I mean, I don't fucking get it. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, rape and shit like that, people are not getting bail for anymore in Chicago. What the fuck is up with that? Like, are you purposely trying to make it unlivable there? Because that is going to be bad. Very, very, very bad. Like, I don't even understand it. There's a gas station hired an armed security guard after tons of robberies and assaults. People were saying that was too fat. Well, it worked, kept the criminals away. Fucking outstanding. That's how that shit works. I'm honestly surprised someone else doesn't think this. When I say this, people look at me like I killed somebody. It's so commonsensical to me. It just is. But anyway, guys, I'm over my time by almost 15 minutes, and I'm going to run. I will be back tomorrow. I'm probably going to make a bunch more videos today. I'm in that fucking kind of mood. So I hope everybody has a great goddamn day. But